Welcome back. The success story of the Chinese economy is based on good education other than diligence of the Chinese people. But can the Chinese model, which has its own problems, be easily applied elsewhere around the world? What is the relevance of education for employment and poverty alleviation in a developing country? To discuss these issues and more, we are honored to be joined here by Mr. Serigne Mbaye Thiam, Vice Chair of the Global Partnership for Education. I'd like to have your thoughts on this issue, the importance of primary education for the development of a poor country.
Yes, I think that education is the best way to deal with other problems of development in a country. Education helps to develop all the skills we need for economic growth. And education also is a basic way to develop health in the country. For example, if you have a mother well educated, this mother cares in best way for the children. I think that also primary education in developing country is important to have skilled people for the development of the country.
Do you think a government, for example, in Senegal, will have enough financial resources to support compulsory and free education at the primary level?
Yes. For example, in the case of Senegal, the government spends 25% of the budget in education.
Well, that's a lot.
More than 6% of GDP in education. But it is not enough to deal, to support all the education needs. That's why in Senegal, we work also with Global Partnership of Education, with a multilateral fund who finance education in developing country. But the most important effort in financing education is an effort of the government of Senegal.
Next year, Senegal will host the next round of FOCAC, a dialogue between
2021.
Okay, 2 years from now. That's
Yes.
not very far away. Are you ready? And what kind of success story are you going to share with the rest of the world, particularly with the friendly Chinese people here, about the miracles and the success of your education? Because you have emphasized correctly and wisely that education is so important for economic development and for health.
Yes, the relationship between Senegal and China is very deep. And also, I think that the relationship between China and Africa are also very deep. And that's why we are going to host FOCAD in 2021. It is a way for China to recognize the leadership of President Macky Sall, President of Senegal. And we are happy to host the next FOCAD in Senegal. I think that in the fields of education, we have many to show, because we have made many progress in access to education and also to improve the quality of education.
Excuse me, are you suggesting that women in underdeveloped countries such as Senegal can enjoy easy and equal access to education, and therefore a lot of opportunities for this group, and also people in rural areas
Yes.
could also enjoy equal opportunity for good education in your country?
For example, I can tell you that in Senegal, in pre-primary education, we have the equality between girls and boys in the school. In primary education also, we have equality between girls and boys in school, and also in secondary education. Since last year, we had also this equality. So during this period, we have promoted a lot education of girls in Senegal, and also we worked to eliminate inequity in education In the constitution of Senegal, education is a duty for the government.
First of all, it's the duty,
yes,
the public duty of the government.
For the government to deliver public and free education. And this commitment of the government meets also the commitment of the international community to say that we have to deliver free education, free basic education for the children. And in Senegal, in the primary school, more than 90% is public education. We can see also private education for the religious community or other community, but fundamentally, the education in Senegal is free and public.
That's a very good example, and China should aspire to learn more from our friendly African friends.
China have made Senegal. A lot of progress in education.
Well, let me risk this question. Let's think about it together. China is known for its multi-ethnicity, and here is the issue of integration, cultural integration. Obviously, in a country where Han people account for well over 90% of the population, if you could speak Mandarin very well, if you can speak Chinese very well, then it's easier for a member from the ethnic group to find a job in the hinterland, in the more prosperous coastal areas. But if you refuse to be integrated into the mainstream Han people or Chinese people because they say, oh, I'm proud of my mother culture, my own mother ethnic culture, I refuse to be integrated, then it'll be a lot of more difficult for them to be integrated into the Chinese market. Because in the case of a market economy, free flow of labor force and free movement of the human resources is one of the hallmarks to ensure success of a liberal market economy. If you refuse to be educated about the basic skills like the command of Mandarin or in your case French in Senegal, don't you think for a person from a tribal culture, it will be very difficult? It will be very difficult to be employed.
I think that education is a way to build a strong society, a unified society. And it's also a way to build a citizen of a country. But
citizenship of a country.
Yes, and to build also a citizenship of the world. You have to be also citizen of the world. And in Senegal, in our educational system, we try to take into account the specificities of some regions, but to have a curricula who can build a Senegalese citizen open to the world also. And I think that it's our philosophy of education.
Tell me, very simply, Your Excellency, do you have this challenge of tribal and tribalism?
We don't have it in Senegal. We have the common language of learning is French. But we have national language in Senegal.
How many other languages do
you have? 25 other national language. We have to take this into account, but we have also to try to build a unique citizen of Senegal open to the other culture in the country.
That's the cosmopolitan nature of education, of good education, to be inclusive, right? So you have the ethnic groups and the women. They are said to be the disadvantaged social groups. If they can be easily integrated into the rest of the world, does it mean good job opportunity? What about the situation of employment in a developing country in terms of the relationship between good primary education and the prospects of having a good job?
Yes, I think that education is a way to increase the income of people. Not only academic education, it is important also after a basic education to give the children opportunity to have vocational education. Vocational education can prepare them to integrate the world of job and of manufacturing and so on. I think that it's not only to allow all the young to go to university, but also to can have vocational and training to be productive.
Your Excellency, let me tell you, the Chinese are very practical. Chinese parents in particular are very practical in that they want to send their children to the best university.
Yes.
Not just those in China, but such as Oxford, Cambridge in the UK, and Harvard.
You have also very good university in China.
We do have,
yes.
But some of the Chinese parents believe if their children could be educated in Harvard, then it's a lot easier for them to find the best company, to have the highest and the best salary, working for a good company. That means the parents would be very demanding about the results of the examination, the marks of the
yes.
examination. It's what we call the exam-oriented education.
Yes.
But this issue is put under scrutiny seriously by the general public, and increasingly so. Young students don't like to always be asked to survive one examination after another. They hate examination. So is that also a concern that you have tried very hard to look into?
Yes, I think that in educational system, you cannot avoid the fact that some students are very brilliant, and some students have to go to the best university. But the purpose of a national education in a country is to bring all children in a level of competence that they can be useful for the society. We have to take into account the students who have abilities to go in excellent schools, excellent universities, but also we have to take into account the children who don't have these abilities, and we have to bring them to be able, on the basis of their own capacities, to serve their country.
Now, 51 of GPE's partner countries are actually members of the BRI, and countries
more than 51
exactly.
members of GPE are also members of
BRI.
BRI. Yes.
And countries that GPE works most closely with are also among those who are very open to Chinese investment. Tell us why.
I think that it is because China is in the South-South cooperation. For the developing country, it is easier to discuss with China and to be inspired by the experience of China in the path of development.
Yes, it's indeed for partners, China included, to work in partnership with the GPE and your member countries without pride and prejudice to ensure a level playing field in the age of globalization. The Chinese authorities have for years put much emphasis on the importance of South-South cooperation to help developing countries and to share co-prosperity. With that, we come to the end of this part with a very famous educator from Senegal. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.